Okay, so I'm going to attempt to show you how to carve an egg. This is beginning egg carving. I'm going to start with gluing a pattern on. I'm using the pattern. I just have a small duck egg. I want my pattern about the size to get a nice little coverage on my egg, but not too big. I'm trying to do this backwards. I'm looking at my camera upside down. Elmer's glue stick. And I'm going to put this glue, on the back of my pattern. Just bear with me. This is your homework for the week. Next weekend, maybe we can get together and we'll double check your work. Okay, so here's our dolphin. And we're going to put the pattern on. And this one here might be a little bit easier because he is kind of in a curved, but you just kind of keep working the pattern. I don't know if I have enough glue on here or not. I don't think there's enough glue there. So if it doesn't stick, I'll just put it directly on the eggshell. That's fine too. You can do that. And just smooth it out. Just keep smoothing it. If you can see these little lines and gatherings, you just keep working them out. I probably should have just put glue on the egg. That's kind of usually what I do. But sometimes I can put too much, which I'm pretty bad at doing that. As you can see, I'm just smoothing it out, all the creases. And if you haven't, we'll probably have some patterns later on the next egg where you can't work out the creases. Well, when you have that, you just kind of make your creases go into areas where you can work around them and pretend that they're not there and they won't interfere. So basically what I'm going to do is one pattern, one egg, one video. So I'll be making a few videos, and which egg you're doing, you can pick that video. So okay, we're ready to start carving this one. So there's our pattern, it's on. I am leaving my dust collector off because I'm really not going to be etching off eggshell, and if I had it on you wouldn't be able to hear me. And I'm using a turbo carver, and I'll turn it around this way too because I'm not sure which way the camera's going to be, film's going to be going. Anyway, and I'm using a 33.5 inverted cone, and I'm going to outline just inside the actual pattern itself, the silhouette, and then I will smooth out to the real edge. I'm not cutting all the way through. I'm just going to make a nice little dent in the egg. So that way, when I do start my cutout, this is what I will consider a breakaway cut. So that way if my egg goes to break off wherever I'm cutting, and a nice chunk breaks off, it should break off where I made this line. I'm not even sure what I have I think I had my pressure too low, sorry. And if you can hear, I'll try to do this where you can tell when you're using your pressure too hard on your hand. I'll see if I can't do that right now. Well, this is a pretty easy egg, so it may not do it so much. But usually if you'll know your pressure is too high, or too low rather, if your burr kind of stutters or winds down. Let's see if I can find a piece of the shell. Here's a piece of a emu shell. I know this will let me do it. Hear how it's working really hard right there? You're pushing too hard if you get that sound. Let me do it again. When you do that, you're pushing too hard. You need to let your bird do the work, not you. It should not sound like that. It should sound like it does right here on this duck egg. Which I guess I should have told you I'm using a duck egg. You can use duck, chicken, goose to do your homework on. Don't really matter. I tried to choose some fun patterns for you, but yet easy to learn on. I keep trying to turn this so I can keep the camera in view. And I'm not wearing my glasses and I'm really far away from, I'm used to being a little bit close to my work. If y'all ever have any questions, just feel free to send me an IM, text me, whatever. I will answer any questions I can. And if I don't know, I will tell you, I do not know. Or I will tell you to post it onto the group site that somebody else can help. Because I do not know. And my way's not the only way. My way's just my way. And I'm just sharing my ways. So, that's all I can tell you on that too. I'm going to try to walk you all the way through from beginning to end on this. And basically your 3 bits that you're going to use most of the time, you always pretty much use your 33.5 inverted cone. Use this for undercuts, you use this for scoring like we're doing now. And you can even cut through with this bit. And if I wanted to, I can just keep going around and around. And I can do the actual cutout with just this 33.5. I mean, that's pretty much about the only bit, burr. Depends on who you are and what you want to call it. Tomato, tomato, bit, burr. I do believe their proper is burr. Okay, so we've scored our egg. And I'm going to change my burr now to a... I have me a nice little handy magnet here that holds all my burrs that I'm currently using, or that I use all the time, and I just go back to it all the time. Now push my plunger, push this out, put this in there, push it on a light surface, push it all the way in. Okay, now what I'm going to do, a little bit too loud for me, turn that down, pressure down, is I'm going to just use this. This is a $6.99, and I'm going to puncture through, as you can see here, and I'm just going to trace along. You see how it's struggling? I got my juice too low here. I'll turn my air up. Oh, too low. Or then again, it could be my burst too high start of water, and bear with me. My burr might be dull. I use it quite a bit. So basically, I'm just going to come on here and I'm going to just trace right along where I made my score. And I'm letting the burr do the work, as you can see. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. It's hard to watch the camera and see this too. See, I didn't go all the way to the edge of the pattern, only because I wanted to leave room for air. That way, as I go through, after I cut this out, we'll go back through and we'll clean it up a little bit. I'll show you that. These classes are free, but I hope you can take away something from them. I hope you don't get what you're paying for here. I probably should have cut out the small piece first, to be honest with you. I'm doing this backwards. You see, right now, the way we did it, if we push too hard, we could be breaking part of the egg we don't want broke. That's why you let the burr do the work, and you make sure you got a good sharp one. Okay, so there's a little cutout. Now, to get a pattern out, that can be a little bit tricky. I didn't bring anything in here with me, but I usually have a set of I'm working this out through the hole. I'm using a toothpick, as you can see, and I'm trying to get this out through the hole here. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to go do now is I'm going to go clean this pattern off, run it under warm water, clean off the glue, and I'll be back and we will clean it up. Clean up the cuts. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see how rough those cuts are? I washed the pattern away. The egg is still wet and spots. Still have glue sticky on some stuff, but I'm still working on it. Now I'm changing my burrs, and I'm going to use what is called a white stone. This is more or less a polishing stone, but I will use it to smooth these away. Now, if this is your first egg, your first cutout, and you tend to break this piece away, don't feel bad. I'm liable to break this out doing this myself. So, eggs are fragile. It's hard to remember that they are still eggs. Now, when you're using a white stone, you want to adjust your air pressure to where, it depends on what you're using it for, actually. I usually use it slow. Very low air pressure on it. And I will try my best to not get in your way here. And basically all you're wanting to do is just smooth away where it's rough and make it not so jagged. I guess a good place to see that was going to be right in this area too. Yes, I am left-handed. I've not bleached the egg yet, and personally, before I get to this stage, I usually will bleach my eggs so that way I can tell where the membrane ends and where I really need to smooth out my egg. But I'm not sure how much experience, if any, that you have had using bleach to kill a membrane. So while I'm smoothing this, I'll explain that process. The best bleach is just pure Clorox bleach with no scent. Not the extra potent stuff, just regular, straight, old-fashioned Clorox bleach. Works the best. Ah, see, I just broke it. That does happen to all of us. I'm not going to touch that one anymore. Just leave that side there. See, as you can see the membrane there, you can't really tell if that's egg or if it's membrane. I think that's where I'm at over here too. Can't tell until you touch it with the burr and it bends. So this here will actually break away when I bleach the egg. But anyway, back to bleaching. When you put the egg in the bleach, you put straight bleach, put it in a nice little plastic, old plastic Cool Whip tub, and just put it in there, and the inside will pretty much immediately turn yellow, which means that's the membrane, and it's killing the membrane. It's supposed to turn yellow. Now the membrane is pretty much what holds your egg together while you're carving it. That's why you don't kill the membrane before you carve it. So when you order eggs, when they ask if you want them bleached, you do not want your eggs bleached. Now people that do Pisanki, they may want theirs bleached, but if you're using them for carving, you do not. And you're going to hear that hum because of where it's broke. And that's another telltale sign. If you're ever working on an egg that may be cracked, you're going to hear a whistling noise to it. Okay. I don't know if I can do much else with this one now since I know I broke it. So, other than bleaching it, this egg is pretty well done. So there's your first egg. And yes, people like me still break them every day. And I would do a better job on this one. I probably would have used my $6.99 and got in there and cleaned that out instead of using this big thick white stone, to be honest with you. So, but I don't do very many cutouts. I honestly don't. As you know, if you can tell by my work, I mostly do carving and etch into the different layers of the shell. I don't do very many cutouts. So anyway, we're done with this one. And I will end this video and I will start the next one.